Thank you guys. I'm happy to be here. Hey, Andrew and Chris. And thank you to everyone who's here. Sorry, I'm having video problems for some reason. Zoom won't allow me to play my video. So you guys will just have to watch the webinar or the workshop for now, which is okay, because I want you guys to pay attention anyways. So anyways, again, thank you guys for having me here. I'm excited to host this workshop for you all. Just like Andrew said, I am ready to help you guys just learn some tips, tools, resources, and some ideas that can help you to increase your online to offline foot traffic, okay? So since we only have an hour, let's just jump right into it. But I will say this before I start, I do love to engage, right? So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to use the chat box throughout the workshop. And then, yeah, if it definitely aligns with whatever I'm talking about at the moment, I will engage with you and then we can talk about it, okay? Sounds good. Let's jump into it. So I wanted to start off this workshop with this quote that I personally love from Carly Steck. She works at HubSpot. She's actually the content strategist. And she said, if your competitors are all doing X, try Y, right? And so when it comes to branding and business, this is so important because one of the mistakes a lot of businesses make, especially brick and mortars, is they tend to do what everyone else is doing, right? They tend to do what their competitors are doing, and that's not how you build your brand. Because one of the key things to building a brand is to stand out, right? Hence the term, what is your unique value proposition, right? So how do you stand out? What makes you unique? And so when you are creating any type of strategy, you want to always think that, how can you stand out from what your competitors are doing? So today we are going to keep it simple, right? I just really want to give you the education and knowledge that you need in order for you to take the next steps after this workshop. But before we do that, I do want to open it up with the icebreaker just to get to know you a little bit more. Then we're going to talk about the difference between online versus offline marketing. I want to talk about marketing goals, right? Because that's very important when you're creating any type of strategy. Then we're going to talk about the online to offline strategies, how to track online to offline marketing strategies, and then I'm going to share some resources for you again when it comes to your online to offline marketing. And at the end we will have Q&A, but if again you have any questions, just put them in the chat box. Okay. All right, so just a little bit more about me and the one speaking to you, and hopefully my video will turn on later so you guys can see my face. But if not, my face is here. My name is Brooke Wright. I'm a business owner, public speaker, writer, branding and business coach or mentor. I officially started my journey in 2016. I had a social media management boutique where I helped small to medium businesses, market their social media. But then I actually closed it down about 3 years later because I wasn't passionate about doing social media marketing for businesses anymore. And so I wanted to dive into what I was really passionate about, what my purpose is, which is what I'm doing right now: public speaking, workshop facilitation, program management, etc. And so I've been doing that since 2019. I was building up the business. I got to work with Eric Thomas and his team. I got to work with Eric Thomas's team when it comes to building up my public speaking brand. And then, just, over the pandemic was just building that business. And I got to work with people like TEDx, the City of Toronto, Access, My Main Street, Digital Main Street, and the list goes on. So my overall thing is helping businesses and entrepreneurs build profitable brands. So now that you know a little bit about me, I do want to know a little bit about you. So let's do this icebreaker activity in the chat box, right? And again, before we even start, I hope you have your notepad or your pen out, your Microsoft Word, your Evernote, whatever you're taking notes on. I hope you have it out because you are going to want to take notes throughout this workshop, okay? So first things first, icebreaker activity. What is special about your business? I want you to do this activity because I want you to get clear on what makes your store special, right? So going from left to right, number one, when visitors come to your store, what do you want them to remember? So I really want you to just take some time. We're not going to sit on this long, but I want you to just take some time, whatever comes to your mind right now, and write it down. What do you want your visitors, your customers to actually remember once they come to your store, when they, interact with your business or your brand? And you can share any answers that you want in the chat box, but also write them down for yourself. Okay. Number two, when visitors come to your store, what do you want them to feel? Right? And then number 3, when visitors come to your store, what do you want them to experience? Okay, so think about that, right? As you're creating your strategies, as you're building your business, as you're setting up your brick and mortar store, you really want to put yourself in your customer's shoes, right? Yes, it's about you. Yes, it's about the reason why you started. Yes, it's about your products and services. But ultimately, it comes down to the customer experience, right? The customer journey. Because when they have a positive one, they're going to want to come back for more, right? And they're going to want to continue to tell people about your store. So, what do you want them to remember? What do you want them to feel? And what do you want them to experience? Okay, let's see if anyone shared anything. Okay, so I still can't see the chat, Chris. So we'll keep it moving. But thank you for those who are sharing. Okay, awesome. Now, I want to share some marketing stats with you, especially as brick and mortars, because these are so important. And I'm a stats girl because, I'm big on market research. I'm big on research, especially when building your brand and business. You really need to understand your industry, understand your audience, your target market, etc. And so here are some key stats that you need to know in 2022. Number 1, 72% of young shoppers research online before purchasing in a store, right? So pretty straightforward. 72% of people are researching online, whether they're researching for what they're looking for, researching your brand, researching your business, etc. They're researching before they even come to your store and before they make a purchase. And that's very important because when it comes to your strategies, especially SEO, search engine marketing, search engine optimization, things like that, right? You need to know this because you need to understand that people are researching a lot, right? Especially before they make a purchase. And so how can you now take this information and apply it to your strategy? Okay, sorry about that. All right, number 2. 2/3 of in-store shoppers will check prices on their phone before making a purchase. So this means that while they're already in your store, browsing around, looking at the menu, whatever, it's saying 2/3 of the in-store shoppers actually still go on their phone while they're in your store to check before making that purchase. And that could be different things. They could be checking for reviews, checking to see what people liked and didn't like, checking to see if you had any, previous sales or discounts or any promo marketing coming up and things like that, right? So just again, this is another way that you can use this information and apply it to your marketing strategy. Number 3, a study of 46,000 shoppers revealed that only 7% were online shoppers and 20% were in-store shoppers. The remaining majority, or 73%, use multiple channels, right? So this means that they've shopped both online and offline, right? So again, why does this matter? This one was so important to me because, we all went through the pandemic, right? And one of the things that were being said during the pandemic was what? Oh, brick and mortars are dead. People are not going to care anymore. I never believed that for one bit. I believe, and we have seen it, right? Once, people were able to go back outside and go back to stores, a lot of stores got more traffic, right? Because we're human, right? We love that in-person interaction. We like to see the products, the services, the things like that in person, right? We like to engage with the staff or whoever in person. And so brick and mortars to me will never die. I think that will always be a part of life because we as humans, we like that. We like that human connection, right? And so don't fall for that brick and mortars are dying and things like that. Yeah, it doesn't look so good right now, but I give it just a couple more years and we'll be, I guess right back on top, if you will. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Shoppers are not only online, they are both mainly, but again, it still trumps, in-store shoppers trump online shoppers. Okay. Number 4, 71% of shoppers say they're now using their mobile devices in stores. So again, it applies to the other stats, but the reason why I want to plug this one in is because, again, you can use this when it comes to your marketing strategies. Because now that 70% of shoppers are using their mobile devices while they're in your store, you can take advantage of that, right? You can, maybe do a text marketing promo, right? When people enter your store, maybe you have the person who greets people when they enter your store, letting them know like, hey, if you sign up for a text marketing subscription, you can get, say, 50% off your purchase in store today or something like that, right? And so just understand that while people are in your store, they're already on your phone. So how can you be on their phone while they're even in your store, right? Okay. Number 5, 55% of online shoppers remain strong advocates of classic stores as they can directly interact with the product, right? What did I just say? People love that in-store, that in-human experience, right? And so it goes to show online shoppers remain strong advocates of the classical brick and mortar stores. So I'm telling you, brick and mortars is not dead. And last but not least, 89% of customers surveyed in a Salesforce report stated that a positive customer service experience would motivate them to make another purchase at the same store. Are you seeing that percentage? That is 90% of people, right? They're saying once they have a positive customer service experience, they are definitely going to buy from you again. And that's why, like I said earlier, during the icebreaker, right? Customer experience is so important. And so a lot of times, business owners, entrepreneurs overlook these things because they think these questions are not that important, but they really are. They're really impactful when it comes to your business and your marketing strategies. So to create a positive customer experience, you want to start to think about, what do you want them to remember? What do you want them to feel? And what do you want them to experience? Because that's how they're going to continue, right? To continue to support you and come back to your store and purchase your products and services. Okay? All right. So just quickly checking the chat box here. Okay, so Chris, that's a no to that question. I can't. Okay, so moving forward. Online versus offline marketing. So pretty straightforward, but just in case you didn't know. Online marketing, according to Neil Patel, is the process of advertising any good or service to potential consumers via digital strategies, right? Pretty straightforward. But here are some examples. Again, SEO, search engine optimization, SEM, search engine marketing, social media marketing, content creation, social media advertising, email marketing, and everything online is pretty much online marketing, right? Of course, the difference between offline marketing is any kind of marketing that's not done digitally or through the internet, right? So obviously examples of offline marketing is radio, TV, print, flyers, newspapers, etc., billboards, vehicle placements, promotional items, cups, apparels, things like that, right? And so that's just the main difference between online and offline marketing. Okay, so I want you to remember this. As a brick and mortar, right, you should definitely have separate online and offline marketing strategies. However, your strategy should connect your online with your offline, right? And intentionally, you should be basically building strategies that boost. So basically building, online strategies that boost your offline sales and building offline strategies to boost your online sales. And then, of course, you also want to create online strategies to boost your online sales and offline to boost your offline, of course. But because we're talking about online to offline, I want you to keep that in mind, right? So now moving forward, as you're creating your online strategy, you want to start to think, okay, how can we create an online strategy that's going to boost the offline? And again, even when they're offline and coming to our stores, how can we still get them to be to support us online, right? So you want to always make sure that it's connecting and that you're building both platforms. Okay, now let's talk about marketing goals. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I'm a big believer that if you don't know what your goals are, then how can you achieve them, right? And this is one of the major, huge mistakes that I often see business owners, entrepreneurs, content creators, influencers, speakers, coaches, and list goes on. I see a lot of people skipping this step, right? They forget that in order to get to where you want to be, you have to be clear on where you're headed. Okay, so when you are creating online to offline strategies and goals, right, I want you to be clear on what goal that is, right? And so oftentimes too, here are some examples of goals that people create. Increase brand awareness, acquire new members, increase in-store traffic, booking more reservations, increasing pickup, takeout orders, boosting brand loyalty, and overall increasing their revenue. Now, these are cool goals to have, right? But I personally, especially as a coach, I don't like these goals. I like to get specific, right? Because what do you mean increase brand awareness, right? What does increased in-store traffic look like? Book more reservations. Okay, but by how much? So when you are creating your goals, I want you to get more specific, right? What exactly do you want to achieve, right? How much do you really want to increase your brand awareness by, your reservations by, your takeout orders by, right? So here are some examples of how you should really create your goals. So instead of saying increase brand awareness, maybe you want to increase your profile views on Instagram by 500% in 60 days, right? Instead of saying acquiring new members, well, maybe you want to sign up 100 new members by the year end. Instead of saying increasing in-store traffic, maybe you want to say, maybe you want to achieve, increasing in-store customers by 30% in 30 days. Instead of booking more reservations, increase your reservation bookings by 70% in 6 months. Instead of increase pickup, takeout orders, maybe you want to get 100 pickup orders in 1 month. Instead of boost brand loyalty, maybe you actually have a platform, right, where you can actually track your brand loyalty, your customer loyalty. And a lot of people do that through referral programs and affiliate programs, brand ambassador programs, right? So this is definitely something that you would have to make sure you have a platform to, create a membership site or something for your audience and customers. But boosting brand loyalty, again, it could be, instead of just saying that, say signing up 20 affiliates by November 2022, right? And then again, instead of just saying increasing revenue, maybe you want to increase your revenue by 10% before 2023. Okay, so when it comes to your marketing goals, especially online to offline marketing goals, you really, really want to be as specific as you can, right? Because look how much clarity that you have. Instead of just saying, yeah, we're a new dessert shop and we just want to increase brand awareness. You got to get specific. Like, how does that look? What part of brand awareness, on which platform? What does that look like, right? Okay. Okay, quickly checking the chat box. Okay, it works now. Awesome. Thanks, Chris. All right, cool. So on the topic of marketing goals, right? So again, just getting clear, getting specific. Now, the next part about creating goals that I believe is that it's like the saying, those who fail to plan to fail, right? And so now it's one thing to have a goal, but now how are you actually going to achieve these goals, right? How are you going to increase your in-store customers by 30%? How are you going to sign up 20 affiliates by November, right? What is it that you actually need to do? So one thing that works for me and one thing that I share with the entrepreneurs and business owners that I coach is I always let them do this activity where, again, write down your specific goal and then write down all the steps that you actually need to take in order to get there. Okay, so this is an example. You increase your in-store customers by 30% in 30 days, right? And then you just get clear on all the steps that you need to take in order to get there. So say the first step for me would be updating my website, right? And then maybe it could be, I don't know, I'm just throwing things out there, but say update my website. Maybe it's update my social media. Then maybe it's to look for 3 influencers to collaborate with, right? Maybe it's to set up, and then maybe the next step is to set a budget aside for the influencers and so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth, right? Until you feel like you can get to this goal. But the whole point is to make sure that you're creating a specific goal and a specific plan, step-by-step plan to help you get to that goal. Okay. All right. All right. So now let's talk about online to offline strategy ideas. So for this next few slides, I do just want to give you some ideas that you can implement for your own brick and mortar store. So first things first is contests, right? So we all know this one. A lot of people use contests. But not a lot of brick and mortars use contests in an online to offline marketing way. So here are some ways that you can use contests, right? But just understand the overall purpose of creating contests is for your audience to play and then collect, whatever it is that you're giving to them in person, right? So that's the beauty of a contest when it comes to online to offline marketing. So some examples could be, we've seen this before, classic, the 100 person to walk in, right? Or the 100 person to order something, right? Gets whatever, a prize or a percentage off or something, right? One of the classics. Another idea would be to leave a review to win, right? So maybe on your social media, you're promoting like, hey, we give away a free meal to every person who comes into the restaurant and leaves a live review or something, right? So it's always like you're always going to be marketing online, but you're letting them know like, hey, you have to come into the store though in order to participate and or collect your prize, right? Third idea, share photos for a chance to win XYZ. Again, literally the prize is up to you as a business, right? But obviously you always want to make your prizes, attractive, right? You always want to make your prizes something that your audience actually wants, right? And so 5% off is maybe not, it may not move people, but a 50% off may move people, right? A free small fries may not move people, but a whole meal may move people. You see what I'm saying? So prizes do matter too when it comes to contests. But share photos for a chance to win. I've seen a few brick and mortars do this, especially if you have, which we'll talk about soon, Insta-worthy looking space, or if you have a certain space in your store, where people can take photos of, right? This is another way where you are telling people, hey, you have to come in to our store, take photos, post it on your social media, and then we choose, maybe 2 or 3 random winners every single month to get free spa services or whatever, right? So it's whatever, it's up to you again, but the whole point is, hey, you got to come in here, you got to do this. This is how you participate in store, and then this is how you win. Fourth idea could be like booking a reservation to win as well, right? So you could do like, we choose one lucky winner from our reservation bookings every single month to give them a free dinner on the house, right? Like there's so many ideas and so many ways that you can get creative with online to offline contests. And then the last idea could be quizzes, subscriptions, etc. And it's the same thing. Even if you make them do it online, right? Even if they participate online, at the end of the day, they still have to come into your store to either collect the prize or to fully play whatever it is, right? So you're always telling them like, hey, you got to come in here to do X, Y, and Z, or to collect X, Y, and Z. Okay. All right. The next marketing strategy idea for online to offline is to bring a friend. And this one is actually one of my favorites because I don't see a lot of brick and mortars doing this, and I feel like they should, because this not only increases your foot traffic, but it can double or triple or even quadruple your foot traffic, right? And this is why. So the main idea here is this, again, is bring a friend. So you want to encourage visitors to bring a friend to receive, again, anything, but let's just say to receive 50% off their order or to receive a free gift, right? So this is me as a brick and mortar. I'm going on my social media. I'm letting people know like, hey, for the month of September, we're doing something where, every person that you bring in with you, you both get 50% off your order, or you both get a free gift or something like that, right? And then you never know, that friend may be like, okay, well, I'm going to bring my best friend. Then that best friend will be like, okay, well, actually, I may bring someone else. And then that person may bring someone else, right? So that's the beauty of this kind of idea, is because, again, it can literally be double traffic, triple traffic, or quadruple traffic. It just depends, again, on what you're giving away and if it's worth it to your audience or not. Okay. Another way of doing the bring a friend is you can also do this online. You can also ask to refer a friend, again, to receive a prize or something. You can do this online and in person, right? So online would look like, again, going on your social media and maybe having a referral program or referral form that people can literally fill out in 2 seconds, where, maybe they're adding their name and email, and then they add the person they're referring's name and email, and then they both get, again, maybe a 50% discount code or something like that, right? Offline, it could be like, say someone's in your brick and mortar store, and so someone's in your brick and mortar store and they say they're cashing out, right? So at your cashier, again, you can have a simple, super quick referral piece of form kind of thing that's just sitting there, and as you're cashing out their stuff, you could be like, hey, if you have anyone that, you want to refer to our store, you can fill out this, little piece of paper here and then receive 50% off or something, right? So again, so many different ways you can do it. Right. The next idea is QR codes, which I absolutely love. You know, we're in the tech world. A lot of people like using these QR codes. And to me, I've seen them to be very effective for a lot of people. So QR codes, you want to create your own QR code, of course, for your social media audience to use only when they visit your store. Okay. So only when they visit your store. So again, you're posting online, you post on your social media. Hey, here's a QR code to get 75% off, you know, your order of $100 or more or something like that. But you can only use this QR code in person, right? So you have to come into our shop to use this QR code. Okay. You can also use this strategy for regular coupons. Again, the end prize or whatever giveaway that you're doing, it's literally up to you. But again, just make it worth it for your audience. But one thing I know that A&W does, they actually have coupons. So they do their QR codes, they have coupons on their website. And so in order for you to use that coupon, you have to go to an A&W location restaurant, right? In order to get whatever it is that coupon is, whether it's, you know, free fries or a free meal or a discount code or whatever. But I know A&W has that, and most restaurants actually have it. I think Tim Hortons has it too. But most restaurants actually have this section on their website where it will say maybe coupons or something like that. And then, yeah, again, just like I said, so you go on there, you click it, you know, it have say the free meal, you have to click the free meal, and then a QR code or barcode pops up. You walk into the restaurant, you show them, etc. Right? So that's another way of, again, increasing your online to offline foot traffic. Okay, and then next one is number 4, in-store events. So I absolutely love this as well. And, you know, we know some companies who do this. If you guys are familiar with Lululemon, Lululemon is all about, you know, fitness, health, and yoga. And I know that some of their locations offer, you know, in-store yoga workshops, right? In-store yoga events and things like that. And so that's an amazing way, because I know some people in the Lululemon community, and their experience and the way they talk about Lululemon is it's always positive. I don't think to date, in my experience, I have never heard a negative thing about Lululemon, but that's just to me and in my experience. And so I just think this is one of the ways too that they keep such a loyal brand and a loyal customer market, is because of these in-store events, right? Really bringing people into the store, engaging with them, talking to them, you know, providing services for them, etc. And so in-store events are such a great way to increase that online to offline foot traffic when it comes to your brick and mortar. So, you know, here are some ideas. You know, you can host social events like community meetups, networking meetups, meet the team, etc. Right? It depends on your business. You can also do launching a new product or service, right? So maybe you are a beauty supply store or something, right? Or, you know, or even a spa, and you have a new service that you're coming out with and you want people to know about it. You could do like a simple service launch event, product launch event, things like that, right? Introducing people to your service, giving them little samples, things like that. You could also host workshops relatable to your brand, products, and services, right? Just like I said, Lululemon with, you know, their yoga workshops. Oh, Nike also does it. I know a lot of people don't do this, but Nike actually has, which I'll go into the next idea, private events. Nike has private, exclusive, and member-only events sometimes, especially here in Toronto, from what I know of. And from one example could be like, I remember they had this self-care workshop, right? And it's so funny because a lot of people don't know that Nike does these things, but they do. And so they also have events at certain locations or certain at their Nike office or things like that. And from what I know, it's most of the time it is private or exclusive, but they do have private and exclusive events, again, for their audience, right? And then the last example is grand openings, anniversaries, milestones, etc. You know, another big one, of course, if you've been in business for a year and you know your yearly anniversary is coming up, you know, put on a small little event, right? Let people know, like, hey, you know, it's our 1-year anniversary. We'd love for you guys to come in, but hey, you have to also purchase a ticket, so that way you're also tracking how many people are coming in, but you're also getting other data, right? Their email, their number, their name, you know, and whatever else you want to put on their form. Right. But events, it's such an amazing marketing strategy all around. Right. Again, just collecting data, really building that online to offline foot traffic, really engaging with your audience, especially when it comes to your in-person events. Again, you can use it as an opportunity, as a market research opportunity, asking them questions, letting them, you know, give you feedback, letting them voice their opinions and things like that. Right. So in-store events, huge, huge, huge. All right. Number 5, another idea is local targeting. So this one's huge because I know that a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, once they get online and they start, they start creating their content, and they start marketing their content, and even when they start getting into advertising, I know that a lot of them make the mistake of basically targeting globally, right? Or targeting spaces that or places that they shouldn't be targeting, right? And so when it comes to increasing your online to offline foot traffic, you do want to focus on your local community, right? Obviously, because what's the point of creating an ad and you're targeting America? It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And so you want to make sure that you're targeting down to literally where you are. So if you are in, let's say, Markham, right? You want to target Markham and Stonehaven and Woodbridge and New York region and things like that. If you're in the West End, you want to target Brampton and Mississauga and Oakville and things like that. Downtown Toronto, same thing, right? So a lot of people forget that when you are creating your content, your advertising, things like that, and you're, adding on the locations and targeting certain places, think locally, right? Think locally, and then you can build globally. But you got to start with the people that's literally right beside you, that's literally in your community first, okay? So besides the content and advertising, another way you can target your local audience, again, is through local magazines and newspapers. So this is one that a lot of businesses really do sleep on. And, it's funny because it's actually one of the best strategies that you can use, especially if you are starting out or if you have a low budget for marketing and advertising. Find the local magazines and newspapers, around you and in your neighborhood, right? Because one, they're also looking for content. They're looking for stories, right? They're looking for places to write about. And so reach out to them, right? Let them know you have something new going on, or a new event going on, or a new product or service, or you solve a specific problem that people need right now, right? Reach out to the local magazines and newspapers, right? There's Snap. There's so many, right? I mean, I get it. As we are building our brands, as you're building your businesses, everyone wants the big guys, right? We want the big media outlets. You want to be on CP24, right? You want to be in the Guardian, all that kind of stuff. And that can happen, don't get me wrong. However, there's still power in local magazines, in the local newspapers, because there's a reason why they're running for years, right? Even when you think people are not reading them, well, someone's reading them, right? That's why they're still in business. And so take advantage of this, right? Again, reach out to them, see if they're willing to write an article on you, or even just advertise in their magazines, okay? Another option is to list your business actually on the Facebook Marketplace, right? Another option is to promote it in local Facebook groups. So again, if you're from Toronto, you want to look up Toronto business groups, Toronto entrepreneurship groups, whatever your industry in, right? Toronto beauty groups, whatever, right? But you want to find local Facebook groups that align with your industry, align with your audience and what you're selling, so that you can promote your business in there, right? And that's just another way of increasing that online to offline traffic. Another way is to list in local directories. So, Yellow Pages is pretty much done, so that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm more so talking about, there's a lot of online directories nowadays, especially for businesses. So just find local Ontario directories, local Toronto directory, Ajax directory, Durham directory. There's so many different kind of directories. You can just find your local ones, or find the one that you want to be in, and just, set up your business in there, right? Again, because we may think, or you may think, that people don't use these platforms, but actually a lot of people do, right? And so you want to just put yourself out there. That's the whole point of building your brand, building your business. It's all about the awareness and getting in front of people's eyes. So the more out there you are, the more magazines and newspapers and directories that you're in, the more Facebook groups that you're promoting yourself in, the more awareness you will get, and the more recognition you will get, the more interest you'll get. And ultimately that will lead to leads and sales and customers and all that good stuff. Okay. And last but not least, optimize for local search. So when it comes to your SEO, right, you want to make sure that you are putting your location out there, right? Making it very loud and making it very seen. So a lot of times I see brick and mortars do this mistake where I go on their Instagram, right? And I'm intrigued, I'm interested. Something about their content is interesting, but for some reason in their content, in their actual posts, I don't see no location tags, when I go up to scroll to their bio and profile, I see no location in their bio or profile. And immediately, as a consumer, I lose interest. Because to me, it's like that's the most common sense thing that you could do for your business, right? Especially if you're a brick and mortar. And so for me to see a brick and mortar not do that, I'm just like, I'm ready on to the next one, right? So if you don't have your if you're not tagging your location in your post, please start doing that. If you don't have your location in your profile bio, please add it, okay? People need to know where you are, where you're located, so they can come to you, right? Not a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to message you. They don't want to message Instagram. They don't want to message you on Twitter. They just want to come onto your page, see where you are, and go visit. Okay, so make it easy for your audience to know about you, to learn about you, and to find you, right? Online and offline. Okay, let me quickly check the chat box here. I see it highlighted. Okay, so some of these questions we can tackle at the end. Okay, awesome. Alrighty. Okay, so next one, number 6. Another idea to increase your online to offline marketing strategy is local collaborations. So again, you know, local targeting, but now you want to focus on local collaboration. So instead of working with the influencer from Atlanta, that doesn't make sense. Why not just find influencers in your city, in Toronto? There's a lot of them, right? So find influencers, again, that align with your industry, company, niche, etc., right? And work with them, right? Again, so many different ways to work with influencers. So that's going to be up to you. But that's just another great way of increasing your online to offline foot traffic. Because when you work with them, you don't want to do an online strategy. You want them to do an offline strategy, right? So when you do reach out to these influencers, let them know like, hey, we were just interested. If you want to come into our store for an hour, you know, I don't know, have a free meal on us or whatever, take some pictures and videos. Or we're wondering if you want to come into our apparel store. You know, we have some outfits that we'd love to give to you, you know, but we'll love to, you know, take some pictures and videos or whatever the case may be. Like, it's going to be so different for everybody. But collaborating with local influencers is a great way, again, to get your name out there and to get their own audience to get interested in you. Another idea is to collaborate with local stores, right? So a lot of brick and mortars don't do this, which I feel like they should, because there's so much opportunities to collaborate with your local store, right? With the person right beside you, your friendly neighbors, right? And so an example of this could be like, I don't know, just throwing random things out there. But let's just say I'm an ice cream parlor, right? I own an ice cream parlor. We sell ice cream. We have a bunch of different cones, a bunch of different toppings. You know, we're mainly ice cream. We're known for ice cream. However, our partner next door or our neighbor next door is a burger joint, right? And so say they just have burgers and fries and poutines and all of that, right? But they don't have no ice cream. They don't have no milkshakes. They don't have no nothing. So me as an ice cream parlor, we could probably collaborate with the burger joint on a nice hot summer day and, you know, do something where maybe it's an outside patio event, you know, sidewalk kind of event, where we're collaborating in some way, giving away ice cream and burgers, right? And then in exchange, maybe we're collecting people's numbers or emails or something, or, you know, again, so many different ways you can do this. But there's a way that you can collaborate with your local stores and cross promote, right, to each other's audiences. And so that you guys can obviously, again, increase that online to offline foot traffic, okay? Another idea, again, is to connect with local journalists and bloggers. So similar to like the newspapers and magazines, like I mentioned, but you can specifically look out for bloggers as well. So again, say you are in the food industry, you have a restaurant, you can look up foodie bloggers, right? Say you're in the skincare industry, look up skincare bloggers, etc., right? People who write about the health and wellness, people who write about skincare, people who write about food, all that. Like, you can look these people up locally, right? Use Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Find all the local people you can collaborate with, right? And collaborate with them. Create some type of strategy, again, where it is going to help you to boost that online to offline traffic. Okay. Number 7 is games. So games is pretty fun, right? Like, not some people do it. I've seen more online businesses do it nowadays, especially when it comes to scavenger hunts. And I think it's so pretty. I think it's pretty cool. You know, online wise, I've seen people do something where it's like, they have, I don't know, like, let's say they have 5 symbols scattered around their online website, right? And so what they do is they'll tell their audience like, hey, go onto our website, look for these 5 symbols, screenshot these 5 symbols, send these 5 symbols to us, or post on your story or something like that, tag us, and then everyone who does it, gets entered into a draw to win, X, Y, and Z, right? So that's the online way. Obviously, the offline way is the classic way of scavenger hunts, right? Of course, people have to come into your store every day. Maybe you're doing just for every day for 30 days or something, where you're hiding a golden ticket in your store or something, right? And then everyone who comes in, they're looking for the ticket, and it's just a fun thing. And it's, again, a way of getting people to come into your store. So even if they're coming into your store to, find this golden ticket, they're going to be interested in the other things that they see. Like, oh, actually, you know what? While I'm here, I actually like this shirt. Actually, while I'm here, I'm hungry. My stomach's growling. Like, let me just get a burger, right? So you got to get into the minds of how people think as well. It's all psychology behind it. Another example is in-store games, so kind of similar to scavenger hunts, but in-store games, again, and you can promote this online, you can promote this through your content and social media, just letting people know, like, hey, we have the scavenger hunt going on, but you have to come in store to play it, right? Or we have this game going on, for Christmas, but you have to come in store to play it. Same thing with the quizzes and activities, or you can do a quiz online or an activity online, but let them know that they have to come into your store, to do something, right? Whether it's to collect a prize or to do something. Okay. Okay. And the last idea, like I said, we're going to talk about is the Insta-worthy experiences, right? And this, as you can, if you haven't been noticing, is actually one of the biggest marketing strategies that brick and mortars are using, especially in 2022, but I feel like it's been happening, I would say from like maybe 2019, I would say it started to pick up around then. If you guys know or are familiar with a restaurant called Fresh is a vegan restaurant. She understood the memo, right? She created this Insta-worthy restaurant. And it wasn't always like that. When she first started, I think it was like, just kind of like a regular restaurant, didn't really have that Insta-worthy experience or feel. But I remember maybe like 2018, 2019, when she started to renovate and she turned into like this whole nature aesthetic, right? And so when you walk into the restaurant, it feels good. The vibe is there. It's luxurious. It's nice. It's a vibe. You want to be there, right? You want to sit there and eat there. You want to be one of those people. And so I've been a long time supporter of Fresh. And so I definitely seen their growth from before she did it to after she did it. And I remember before, it wasn't always such a packed restaurant, but once she did the whole Insta-worthy renovation, I like to call it, at least, her foot traffic super increased. I remember one time I even went there and the line was so crazy, it was out the door, right? And so this is just goes to show the power of creating like an Insta-worthy kind of aesthetic when it comes to your brick and mortar, right? Really giving people that curiosity, right? Really playing into their curiosity, into their interest, and into their excitement, and making them want to be like, oh my gosh, I need to go there. I need to take pictures. I need to experience this, because that's just the world we live in right now. A lot of things are social media, especially, it's a lot of millennials, Gen Z, depending on your audience, a lot of them care about these things, right? And so we got to, again, get into the shoes of how our customers, how our audience think. And so here are some examples, again, focusing on your in-store brand identity, right? So colors, the overall aesthetic, the overall vibe, the overall theme, your furniture, your decor, all of that kind of stuff, right? There's a new bar, I forgot the name of it, but I know there's a new bar that opened up in Mississauga, and they're artsy. So it's almost like an art gallery / bar, right? Which is so interesting, right? And if you see it, I'm pretty sure you can probably just Google it and it'll pop up. But if you see it, it's like pink and they have pink couches and it's like literally like an art gallery / bar. Literally how it sounds, right? But the way it looks and the vibe of it and the aesthetic of it, it's such an Insta-worthy experience. And people I know already have been there just to take pictures and videos, right? And so this is a new bar and they're getting that traffic, they're getting that media shout outs and things like that, right? And so this is the power of creating that Insta-worthy brand identity. Okay. Photo ops and displays. Some stores also do this. Photo ops and displays, for those who don't know, it's literally like if you have seen them at events, maybe a photo backdrop or a flower wall or something like that, right? Or there's the waffle place downtown. I think they have like a greenery wall and then some neon sign. So it's a photo op, right? It's a display where people can go take pictures in front of purposely, right? Take videos in front of it purposely and share it to their Instagram, right? Or to their social media. And so if you can create something like that, that would be awesome. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. Right? Okay, so photo ops and displays. Another example actually is there's this restaurant downtown in Liberty Village. I believe they're called Island Caribbean Cook Shop, and they also did the photo op. I would say he created like it's a super large neon sign or a neon pepper, like a Scotch bonnet pepper, but it's super big, it's super green, it's pretty, it's cute, right? And so it's like it's another photo op. So when people go to the restaurant in Liberty Village, they could take a picture of it or buy it. You know, they can take videos of the restaurant because it's very nice and clean. It has that Insta-worthy experience. Okay, so if you can incorporate any of this into your brick and mortar, I believe it will definitely help you with your marketing strategies, right? And increasing your online top line foot traffic. Okay. Third example or idea is, you know, overall customer experience. So really focusing on the customer experience of it all, right? So again, depends on your business, but like this would definitely apply to say, you know, a spa, right? Or it could even apply to open kitchens, right? Like I forgot there's another restaurant downtown and they have like this open kitchen where they make fresh pizzas, right? And it's really open. Like you can see them, you know, making the dough, kneading the dough, making the pizza, putting it in the fire burning oven, right? So that experience, the restaurant itself is pretty basic on how it looks. It's like, I think black and gray or something. It's like pretty basic. The restaurant itself is not that Insta-worthy experience, but the kitchen part, the open kitchen part, and watching them cook and make your pizza fresh, that's an experience that people love, right? And so there's different ways to create that Insta-worthy experience. Even if you don't have the budget to improve your brand identity or don't have the budget to buy a photo op or display, then maybe really put the power and the energy and intention into customer experience, right? Again, going back to that icebreaker, how do you want people, what do you want people to remember? What do you want them to feel, right? And what do you want them to experience? Number 4 is in-store experience. So similar to the customer experience, but just the overall in-store experience, right? So like when someone comes into your store, into your establishment, what is their overall experience? When they're walking around looking at clothes, right? When they're, from the moment they walk in and they're greeted by the host to sitting down at their seat for the meal, what is that overall in-store experience for them, right? Another example for this could be like, I think it's not Cabana. I wish I remember the name of the restaurant. I know it every other day, but there's another restaurant, and they do like live, what is it? Like live cutting of the meat and stuff like that. And they have dancers and entertainment as you're eating, and it's like buffet style, but it's also like a la carte. It's a whole experience. I know that my family went one time, they were telling me about it. And so not only did they enjoy the customer experience and in-store identity and stuff like that, but the overall restaurant experience is what really got them to really start to talk about it. They were so happy about it, etc. And they definitely really want to go back, right? And so that's just another example when it comes to the in-store experience. And then, of course, your unique products and services could also, you know, you could also put an Insta-worthy spin on that. Again, depends on your business. Another example could be like a spa. Again, if you guys have heard of Gold Place, it's Gold Place Spa in Markham. They're gaining a lot of traction online and offline because their spa overall taps into all of these things, to be honest. They have very luxurious brand identity. I wouldn't necessarily say they have photo op, but their entire spa is like, it's very nice. It's very pretty. It's very luxurious. Like you want to take pictures, you want to take videos, you want to tell people about it, right? The overall customer experience people are raving about. The overall in-spa experience people are raving about. And then they have a unique service and product in a sense where most spas offer, you know, they have like their menu, right? So you have to pay like $100 for this massage, $200 for this facial and things like that. But Gold Spa, from what I know, they offer a one-time rate, let's say the day of, right? So say you want to go today, I know it's like $100 to get in, but you can experience certain things for that $100. So say, I think they have like a salt cave, another cave, and like a water or pool or something, right? So for the $100, you get to experience these 4 different parts of the spa. However, then if you do want the hour massage or the 2-hour facial, then you have to pay for those extra things. But I'm a spa person, so I know that this is very different, because a lot of spas, again, charge like per product or service, right? No one has that experience where I can just walk in and just sit down in the salt cave, or test 4 services out for $100. So they're definitely grabbing a lot of attention. I've seen them, I think, on BlogTO. They're on a lot of like those Toronto influencer pages and things like that. So that's just another example to check out. Again, they're called Go Place, and they're a spa in Markham. All right, cool. Now, so we talked about all of that online to offline tracking. Online to offline marketing. So now I just want to just remind you that when you are creating these strategies, the overall key here now is to make sure you're paying attention to the tracking, right? So knowing that your strategies are working or if they're not working. So again, here are some ways to track your online to offline marketing or foot traffic. So number one is, again, the QR codes, right? This is definitely one of the best ways to track it, is through the QR codes if you use them, because it's easy. Like, here's the thing though, I'll say about QR codes, and I'll share this later on. But when it comes to QR codes, I know that, for example, Canva, I think, has a section where you can create a QR code, but they don't have the analytics, right? They don't have the metrics. So you can create a QR code in Canva, but there's not going to be any way for you to track how many people use your QR code, when they used it, when they opened it, things like that, how many people clicked the link, things like that, right? And so when you are creating QR codes, look for QR code generator, right? QR code generators, but QR code generator sites that also come with the metrics, because that's what you need. You need those metrics, right? You need to know, like, okay, we put up this specific QR code on Instagram, right? And then we made another QR code for Facebook, and then another one for Twitter, and then maybe another one for Pinterest, right? So now you have 4 different QR codes, right? So now you can actually track, again, how many people actually click on the QR code, right? How many people use the QR code and things like that. So you really need a QR code generator that also comes with the analytics. Number 2, in-store only coupons, right? Again, just like I mentioned with the A&W example, right? You want to have in-store only coupons. So even if they're online, even if they're on your social media, you have people can only use it when they come into the store. And so that, depending on your website, whatever provider you use, most of them you should be able to create some of these coupons and then have that track on your website. But again, making sure you're finding softwares and platforms that allow you to do this, or create coupons and QR codes, but also give you the opportunity to track your metrics, because you need that. That's the whole point of this, all of this, right? Number 3, in-store surveys, again. So this could be something like, you have like a little pad at the cashier, and as people are cashing out, you can just be like, hey, in the meantime, can you just fill out this quick 3-question survey that asks, hey, how did you hear about us? What made you come into our store today? What did you love the most about our store? Whatever, right? The survey is going to be up to you and your business and your goals, but that's just another way of tracking your online to offline foot traffic, because on the survey, the most important question to ask is, how did you hear about us? Right? Because you want to know how they heard about you. And so if someone says, oh, Instagram, if they're checking out Facebook, if they're checking out online platforms, then you know that your online to offline tracking is working. Okay. Number 4, contest and game participation. So same thing, right? You're going to notice once they come in and play the contest or they play the games, right? You're going to see the participation, but just making sure that you're tracking that. I know that there is some contest softwares or platforms that also come with this, where you can create your contest kind of strategy using their platform, and then it's an opportunity for you to also track the metrics and analytics and things like that, right? So contest and game participation, again, there's platforms, but you can also just do this manually, right? If you have, say, a worker or something that can do this for you, just track it manually depending. Number 5, click and collect. So this one isn't new, right? But it definitely grew more, especially because of the pandemic. So click and collect is really just almost like placing an order online and then picking up in person. That's literally all it is. So, IKEA does this. A lot of places do this now, where, again, you go on to your website, I order something on your website, even if it's takeout, whatever, a piece of furniture, clothing, and then I have to come to your store to pick it up, right? So click and collect is also a way is also another marketing strategy, but it's also another way to track your online to offline foot traffic. Okay. Number 6 is reservation and bookings, right? Pretty straightforward, of course. Like you can obviously see, people are online booking their reservations. And then you obviously see the ones that are, coming in and fulfilling their reservations, right? And number 7, again, it's events. So when you are hosting events, you do want to make sure you're using event sites, right? Event platforms like Eventbrite. There's so many different ones. Like there's Eventbrite. I think it's like all-in-one events or something. Like all these different kind of event platforms, Facebook events, etc. Right? This is another way for you just to track, again, how many people are coming to your events, right? And it's also a way to gather more data, right? You can get more people's numbers or emails, things like that. So even if they don't make it to this event, well, now you have their email. Now you can add them to your email list. Now you can add them to your text subscriber list, and keep them in the loop, right? So even if they don't attend this event, they can attend the next one, or they can come to your store at any given time. Okay, and the last but not least, of course, is your revenue. Based on your metrics and your strategies and things like that, of course, you're going to be able to track your revenue and see, if it's increasing or decreasing based off your online to offline tracking. Okay. All right. So we kind of got through this one a little quick. So I hope you guys have questions, but if not, it's okay. I do want to share with you guys some resources, again, just to help you on your journey of your online to offline marketing. So again, you definitely want to have your own website. Like this is so important. You want to have your own website. This is going to help you, obviously, like you need your own digital home is like what I like to call it, to show people, again, who you are, what you do, where you are, what you offer, things like that. And again, if it goes back to you, doing coupons or QR codes or games, contests, things like that, right? You want to have your own online space, right? For your own branding. So if you don't have your own website, this is where I would start first and foremost. It's also going to help you with your SEO, building up that building up that online traffic, that online awareness, right? And then of course, once you start getting to Google ads and things like that, you definitely need your own website. So if you don't have that, I would definitely say start there first and foremost, your own website, and just make sure, again, your brand identity and things like that are all on point. The next thing is, again, Google AdWords. So advertisements are definitely helpful, but the reason why they don't work for a lot of people, again, is because they just don't know how to target, right? They're just targeting too many people, or they're not targeting the right spaces. So you want to make sure that when you are doing advertisements, whether it's on Google ads, Facebook ads, or Instagram ads, you want to just, again, go back to what I said earlier, just make sure you're targeting locally, right? Target your local communities, your local people, okay? One thing actually I will add into when it comes to the Facebook ads and Instagram ads is this. Advertisement is helpful, but it's even more helpful when you know which platform to use for your business and your brand, okay? Because sometimes Instagram ads work better for e-commerce brands, right? But Facebook ads work better for brick and mortars, right? They work better for local advertisements. So a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think that, oh, ads are just ads and I can do the same campaign across all social media platforms, and that's not how it works, right? And that's how you end up losing money and all of that stuff. And so we don't want to lose money. We want to gain money, want to save money, or we want our money to work for us. And so when you are creating ads, again, just be mindful of the platform that you're creating the ads on, and just making sure that they align with your business. Again, Instagram is mainly known for, and you could do this research, but to date, from what the research up to today, they're saying Instagram has been best for e-commerce products and things like that. And Facebook has been amazing for brick and mortars, local targeting, things like that. And Google AdWords is also amazing. Well, it's amazing across the board, but it's definitely good for local as well. Okay. Another resource you should definitely use is Google Analytics. You definitely need your own website for this though. So if you don't have Google Analytics, I definitely highly recommend that as well, because Google Analytics is also going to help you to track all of it, right? All of your data, your metrics, especially when it comes to your website and like where people, spend the most time, where they fall off, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in, where they're from, what devices they use, all that kind of stuff, right? And so why does this matter? Because let's say the devices, right? Remember what I said earlier about the stats about people being on their phones, right? And so once you start to understand what phone or what devices that your audience uses the most, again, you can now tailor your marketing strategies, your content, and things like that to your audience, okay? Another thing is the Google panel and Google business profile, especially as a brick and mortar. You need the Google panel and the Google business profile, right? Because imagine someone wanting to learn more about your business and then they type it in on Google, but there's no panel for you, right? So now they have to do that extra stuff to find out, okay, where are you? What's the number and things like that. Mind you, remember, it's the psychology behind things. And a lot of times people don't even want to do these extra steps. They like it simple as possible, right? And so if you don't have a Google panel or Google business profile, I would say to also look into creating that, right? You want to have that Google space. Again, when people type in your business, you know, you're right there on the right side where it has your number, your name, your photos, your reviews, and all that kind of stuff, especially the reviews. You know what I'm saying? So it's helpful for your business all around, not just increasing your online to offline foot traffic. You really need this as a brick and mortar. Okay. The next one is event sites. Like I mentioned, Eventbrite, you know, all-in-one events, things like that. And don't just use Eventbrite. I mean, you can use one or, you know, two event sites. I know a lot of people who do that, but there's so many event sites nowadays. Again, it's just the same thing when it comes to ads. Just find the platform that you think would be best for you and your business, right? Because the example would be like, okay, I wish I remember the name. I was on a new event site the other day. It's actually new to me as well, but this event site, I realized, had a lot of conferences. They had a lot of conferences, a lot of seminars. It was a lot of like B2B, a certain kind of industry versus Eventbrite, as you know, for those who know, it's a little bit more broad, right? They have workshops, events, all that, private, personal, right? Business, all that, right? So different event sites with different, you know, models and things like that. Again, just finding the right one for you. Right? Again, Facebook events, another great one because, you know, helps you to target locally and things like that. And then QR code generator sites, like I mentioned earlier. And then last but not least, leadsbridge.com. Now, leadsbridge.com is literally, from what I did my research on it. So from what I've seen and from what I've gathered when I went through the website, they literally have everything a brick and mortar needs to track their online to offline traffic. Okay, so they literally, that's what they're made for. So leadsbridge.com, they're made for that. They're made for the online versus offline marketing and tracking the metrics and things like that. So I would say this is definitely a platform brick and mortars need. And no, I'm not affiliate or nothing, so it has nothing to do with that. It's literally, I researched it, I checked out the site, and I was even so shocked because I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys really have everything that a brick and mortar needs, right? Or at least most of the things to help you track. So check out their website, leadsbridge.com. So when it comes to your online to offline foot traffic, okay? And that's mainly the main resources you need right now when it comes to, again, your online to offline marketing resources, okay? Okay, awesome. All right, so just to recap, right, this whole entire workshop, just remember to convert your online to offline foot traffic and conversions, remember to create online marketing strategies that support your offline strategies and vice versa, right? Remember to create experiences that your audience wants to participate in. Remember, put yourself in their shoes. Would you care to leave your couch to go to a restaurant that's giving away a small fry? Or would you want to leave your couch to go to the restaurant that's giving away a full meal, right? Would you want to get up and leave your couch to go to, you know, to play the scavenger hunt that's only giving you 5% as a prize versus them giving you maybe 100% off or something, right? So you just want to make sure that it's something your audience actually wants to participate in. And other ways that you can do this too comes down to market research. Ask your audience, like go on social media, create polls, be like, you know, let them know like, hey guys, we have an idea that we're working on. We really want to put contests together. Let us know what you would like as the prize, right? And I see a lot of businesses do that, and it actually helps them because it gives the audience, you know, an opportunity to work with you, right? To give you that feedback and to let you know exactly what they want and what they want to participate in, right? So sometimes too, you don't only have to create these strategies on your own or with your team. Get your audience involved, really hear from them, let them in, right? Let them know what's going on up to a certain extent, of course, right? So that you can really build the strategies around them, their needs, their solutions, their problems, etc. Number 3, remember to track your online to offline traffic to determine what's working and what isn't, right? Because it's one thing now to create your goals. It's one thing to create your plan. It's one thing to implement the strategy. But if you're not even tracking the metrics and analytics, if you're not paying attention to what's working and what isn't, then none of this is going to matter. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your KPIs, your key performance indicators, you know, what's working, again, what isn't, so that you can always adjust and move forward. Okay. And last but not least, remember to think about the experience, the feeling, and memorability that you want your customers to have, right? So again, just putting yourself in your customer's shoes is what's going to help you to really increase the online to offline foot traffic. All right. Awesome.